We are British, we're different, we're eccentric, and we should be adventurous.
We've had our moments of sleeping in boxes of t-shirts in the back room, and it needs must really.
We shipped something to Afghanistan this week. That was different.
You know, why spend a lot of money on a jacket that you only wear on the golf course? It should look good that you can wear it anywhere. That's how we see it anyway.
But I think, you know, we've kind of powered on, and rocks in the road, and you just find ways of carrying on with your vision and creating something really.
Enjoy the game is the key really, and do it in style. The business started when we were on a business trip to Northern Ireland, and on the way back I picked up this magazine at the airport. It's called Bogey. It was only around for about a year. I think they produced about maybe 12 months worth. And I thought, well, Bogey's golf. Don't understand why there's this woman on it with high heels on a golf course. And then on the back of it, you've got an H&M ad. I thought, this is a weird golf magazine. So I had a look through and I thought, well, I'll buy it. And on the plane, had a good read at it on the way over. And I thought, wow, here's something completely different in golf. It showed me, for somebody who'd been brought up in golf as a kid, that there was a different thing going on in golf. This is actually 15 years old. So that gave us the idea, because we were looking for something to call our own, and we've been in the clothing business for a long time up until that point. So golf was the obvious thing to do, and this magazine gave us inspiration. I went to meet the people who produced the magazine, and these guys were all snowboarders and skateboarders and all of that kind of stuff. And I said to them, well, why are you all keen in golf, and why have you produced a magazine? And they went, oh, because we love golf. I said, what's the connection? It's the connection's concentration. To do the boarding stuff, you have to concentrate, and to do golf, you have to concentrate. And that was their thing, and they absolutely loved golf, and they weren't your average golfer. So I seen an opportunity in the market, and that's really where the brand started. At the time, we were based in Nottingham city centre, and there were some graphic guys worked next door. We got together with them, and we created some graphics. I love t-shirts, that's one of my things. And we did some graphics and t-shirts, which I eventually took to House of Fraser and sold to House of Fraser. They bought 1,400 t-shirts, 7 styles, and I hand pressed every one of them, believe it or not. So that was how the brand started.
What was the early stages of business like for yourselves?
Oh gosh, horrendous. So we were, Robert and I worked in big corporate companies to start with. I was sales director, Robert was a managing director of several clothing businesses selling into Marks and Spencer's and Next and BHS, companies like that. So we were used to very big corporate organisations. And then I decided in my, I don't know how old I was, whatever, early 30s, that we needed to, you know, if we were going to try and do something ourselves and really try and make a go of it, we had to crack on. Otherwise we would be too old and stayed and lost our entrepreneurial spirit. So we just moved into a new house with a big mortgage, and I decided that I would resign. That didn't go down very well, but hey ho. So I had to work 3 months notice, which was hell, because once you've kind of got it in your head that you want to go off and do something exciting, I had to work 3 months notice for my previous company, and then I started our company.
The name came actually on one Friday night in a bar in Nottingham. It's called Blue Bar, and we were in there with the guys that were doing the graphics. These 3 guys were really young at the time, and they were always, you know, sort of, you know, poking fun at each other and causing a ruckus mostly. So I was coming back to from the bar with the beer, and they were still having an argument. And I said, "Listen, will you drop this? Do you guys see this bunker mentality? It just drives me nuts. We got to get on." And Dan at the time said, "That's the name for the brand." So what are you on about? He said, "Bunker mentality." He said, "It's golf with a different attitude."
So what was the first item that started off the brand?
It was a t-shirt, crew neck cotton t-shirt printed with Who's Your Caddy on it, and various other things like Goddamn Mother Putter, things like that. So that's really how we started, was with graphic t-shirts, and from there, as I say, the buyer sold them all. House of Fraser called back up and said, right, what are you going to do next? So from there we developed polo shirts, and from there we just developed the brand constantly. It just seemed that more and more people get interested. The more and more people get interested, the more opportunity you have to grow. So t-shirts was really our first thing, and still proudly today we sell our t-shirts very well. And for me, it's the best bunk product because it's about golf, but it's also about lifestyle. And golf is a lifestyle game, I personally think. So I quite like that idea.
So once you have your designs and your ideas, who puts those designs into practice? Is it yourself? And
yeah, Rose and I work on it together. We sit and we go through things, and we start with a palette. What kind of colours we're going to use, which is a real challenge actually, because men generally wear blue and black, and we've discovered they don't particularly like red, but they like hot pink. The hot pink's a real good strong colour for us. So we work on that, and then we look at patterns and other sources that we've got like that, and we start to put it together. We've got a framework now that that we've grown and developed over the years. That we've got what we call design polo shirts, and then modern classics, and then classics. So we work within those three frameworks and at 3 different price points. So the idea really is to create something which is moving on from last year, and that's always a challenge because the palette is quite restrictive, because as I say, men really wear blue of all its shades, so that can be quite a challenge. But I think in general, it's about creating something different and trying to think, well, what did we do last year, and how can we better that, and what are the things that we picked up throughout the year, to start with. Really, that's the thing. And we always start with a particular image that we have at the top of our board, which is it's a picture of David Bowie in an Alexander McQueen Union Jack coat, and we always start with that because to me that it's so British. Alexander McQueen was a great British designer. David Bowie was a complete British rock legend. And for me, starting to think about British golf wear, for now, that's where I start. So I think that's quite an important image, and maybe we should get that framed and put it in the wall actually. But we use that image quite a lot because it says to me,
so once you have got your inspiration and your designs, you work here in the warehouse to do the designs. Where do they go next? Or what's the next stage?
Well, we do everything. Everything's done on our Macs, and then it goes straight to the factory. So the factory get a design pack. If we've bought samples for colour, etc., that we spend a little swatch to get the colours right. We've been working with the factory for a good 7 or 8 years now that we use for our polo shirts. So they're getting a tech pack, and they're obviously very competent, so they take the tech pack and they can produce the sample. Once they produce the first sample, we send it over, and normally, if we like it, that's good. I usually try it on so it doesn't look that good, but then sometimes we've got our model Jamie, and as you see on our website, and when he tries it on, it looks great, which is quite reassuring. I always go, yes, we'll make that one because it looks good in Jamie. But we get the sample, and then if everything's approved on the sample, because we have to make it fit right, and we have to make sure that the construction's correct and the fabric is what it's supposed to be, and then you go from there into the factory making another sample to send it over, sign off for production, and then they go into production. It takes them 90 days. After 90 days, they're shipping the goods to us. When it comes in here, we've got the warehouse downstairs, and we store everything here. And because obviously golf's a seasonal business, at the moment things are coming in and going back out right away because it's that part of the season. We've got wholesale customers, we've got other retailers that we're working with where the product has to go out quickly because they want it in their stores, and that's pretty much how it runs. We have a web business obviously, and the web just runs continuously 24 hours a day all year round. And we launched the new season last week on the website, which was great, and that's really how the business runs.
So Rose, you and Robert design together
Yeah.
your products, and Robert explained to us that he sends a tech pack to the factory to get all the details correct.
Yeah.
So what sort of details do you focus on that as an outsider we wouldn't realise are so important?
So we just have to explain everything as in as much detail as possible, really. Things like the collar tipping, we give all the depth that we want. So we look at what we've done previously and how we want to improve it in regards to like trends and how it will look as new as possible for the customer. How many buttons we want, the branding, any contrast details that we want to add in. Seam lines, things that will move the product on without it being scary to the customer and in line with what they were already and trends.
Okay. And when the samples come back, and would you go through the product in detail, and if you're not happy you can change thread colours, you can change the depth?
Yeah. Obviously we measure everything, make sure it's all to spec technically so it will fit properly, and then but if we want to change thread colours, buttons, anything at that point, we can change the comments and then we'll receive another sample.
So your vision for the product is obviously very specific, and you're then passing that to a team in another country and putting your trust in them to develop the product. So do you have to build up a relationship with them back and forward to discuss the product? Yeah,
we work with the factories really closely, and obviously monitoring how the samples are being developed, making sure they understand the tech pack correctly, all the trims are exactly what we're expecting back, and that they're able to source that as well. So it's constant communication, clearly of what we want and what they're available to send, and when we can receive everything in regards to production time as well.
Perfect. And when you get your samples back and you see your design in real life, it must be quite a nice feeling to think, we've made this and this is our product for this year. Yeah,
it's good. Obviously we've looked at it a long time in the design process before, so it's suddenly this is it in real life. It's exciting. It's exciting when you see somebody wearing it, when you see the photo shoots, when it's really coming to life, and how it's going to be added to somebody's wardrobe. That's exciting.
And it must be exciting when you see that it's selling well and selling out, and it's your collaboration and your designs.
Yeah, it's really good. It obviously makes you proud of the product that we're working on, and that's why we're doing it, to make the product special so that the people are enjoying it and we're enjoying creating it. That's what we do it for. So
you've put an awful lot of work into the business from kind of the start to where it is now. Would you say there was instant success?
No. I don't think. I think it's very difficult for anyone to get an instant success. Obviously there's lucky people where worlds collide and it happens, but instant success is probably 15 years of hard graft behind it. I think the way we've done things, we've been very true to ourselves, so sometimes along our journey we've thought, why are we doing this? Why don't we do what everybody else does and just do a navy blue polo shirt with a logo on the chest? That's not our style, and that wouldn't get us to where we are today and where we want to be in the future. So I think instant success is basically some people working really hard, really long hours, really reaching into their souls as to why they're doing it sometimes. But then you get those moments where people say, do you know what, I love what you do. And you go, well, that makes it worthwhile, doesn't it? That's why we do it. We've got a fantastic team here that work really, really hard for us as well and enjoy what they do. So I think anybody who's built a business would tell you that there's been major ups and downs in what they do, but they've just got to believe and keep believing in what they're doing, and you'll get there.
So Tom, you're in charge of customer service and distribution, is that right?
Yeah, that's correct.
So it must get pretty hectic around here distributing large orders.
Hectic's one way of putting it, yeah. It's it can be pretty full on some days. Customers are customers at the end of the day, and they are always right. So I've been told and taught very well. But yeah, it's testing, it's trying, and at the end of the day, you try to keep everyone as happy as you can be whilst looking after ourselves and maintaining sort of what we're here for.
Sure. And what is your busiest season? When are you under the most pressure that you're just firing boxes out the door?
Probably from Black Friday to now has been non-stop. Christmas, Black Friday, sale, gifting, and it's not just the sending out, it's the things coming back, swapping for other sizes, and it's just full on every day.
Sure. And do you know what is your ratio of male customers to female customers? Do women buy for their husbands, or is it mainly men buying for themselves?
Around that sort of period, there's a lot more female buyers, whether that's gifting, whether that's for the kids, things like that. But it's sort of, there's definitely a spike around that Christmas, New Year time. And it is noticeable. You can just tell from the customer names coming through that there are a lot more female names come through. And that sort of tends to shift then to more male customers as we go on from now till sort of September, really.
How do you find working together as a couple?
Amazingly, we're fine. We've always said we're two halves of one brain. So when we first started, it was quite funny. I'm very logical, very system driven, very data driven. Robert is extremely creative, 500 ideas a minute, which I have to try and calm him down and put it into some sort of structure. So I remember when we first did our first kind of CADs of t-shirts that we sold into House of Fraser, Robert had never used Photoshop or Illustrator. So I get the manual, he has his hand on the mouse, I tell him what to do, and somehow it worked. And literally that is how it has worked since, really, I would say. So I think together we work very well. We spend every day, every hour, and we've still not killed each other yet. So something works okay.
And having a British family-run business is obviously very important, especially in today's market when everything is, no one knows where anything comes from these days. And how do you maintain that and keep that as one of your core values, that this is a home business?
Yeah, it is. And I think, you know, since we've started, I mean, as I said, you know, our daughter was on the desk for the first year of her life. It's intrinsically in us. And I think, you know, we employ local people. Our office is located in a little village outside Nottingham. We employ local people where we can. We understand our people and our team. You know, we've in the past have employees with kids. When the kids are ill, we'll work round it. And I think that's what being a family business and an independent business really means, which is you take care of the people that you work with, and they, you know, give you oodles back. But it is very important, and I think the fact that, you know, everything that anybody buys from us or every comment that is made is read by us. These are the real people behind the brand. So if you like it, we love that. If something goes wrong, please tell us, because we can't put it right unless you do tell us. Don't shout at us, because we're real people at the end of the day, and we'll fix anything. You know, we've done that. We've had customers in Germany that have machine washed a merino wool jumper at 80 and it's come out the size of a small child's jumper. But what they do is they call us, they tell us, and we send them another one, because what's important to us is that, you know, we really look after our customers as well as we can. So it's very important, and it is intrinsic in the business that it's real people behind all of this. So yeah, it's nice, it's great, we love it.
Your day like? Is it coming in, checking the orders, seeing what's been bought? Because I presume you're open 24 hours, you can buy 24 hours.
Yeah, it's literally from the start, checking to see that we've definitely got everything that we've sold. That's the first thing that gets us going when we haven't. And yeah, just going through, make sure we've got everything, make sure everything's packed correctly most of the time. And just sort of getting them out to the customer as quick as we can, really. And then following up on different leads if people have approached us or are after a certain number of shirts for something, or they want something specific, then sort of deal with that as well and try and help them out and just literally get everything done as quick as possible, because that's what the customer expects now.
Sure. And what's the most obscure place that you've shipped something to?
We shipped something to Afghanistan this week. That was different. We've had a couple of customers in Guam. Russia, we've had a customer, which is awkward as anything to ship to, because their regulations are different to everywhere else in the world. We sent a hat to New Zealand, just a hat, nothing else, where the shipping cost more than the actual hat itself. can't think of anywhere else that's sort of different. But yeah, no, it is worldwide.
When new product comes in, do you know, by looking at it, what's going to be the best seller for the next season?
No. It's normally the one that you think is going to stick and be slower that turns out to be the one that most people will prefer, just because it stands out more than anything, or it's a bit more risky.
Sure.
So we've had it quite a lot recently where we pick out what we think will sell and it's completely the opposite.
And what do you ship out most of?
Polo shirts, constantly polo shirts. We're getting more and more into the sort of the trousers. The demand for trousers has definitely picked up, just to sort of complete that look and complete the whole outfit.
So we've talked about the product and what it takes to bring an idea to life into here. What have you developed for the season?
Right. So we've got 3 price points. So we've got 60, 50 and 40. 60 is our design collection. Design, Paisley pattern is very much a bunker design. We're the only company in golf that I know that does Paisley. So the new Paisleys are quite dark, quite tonal. We've had bright Paisleys, quite bold colours in the past. These are much more muted. I think one of the things that's quite important for us is that, you know, we try to develop product that can be worn anywhere. We don't always crest the shirts anymore. What we tend to do is put this tag on here where we talk about low impact branding. We don't have branding on the back or on the sleeves, because that's a really smart shirt that I think can be worn anywhere. So if you're on holiday, you can take it on holiday and wear it with your shorts and flip-flops, but it's a functional golf shirt. It's totally functional. It wicks the sweat. It does everything every other golf shirt does. One of the things that we have in our shirts is a thing called Polygene, which, you know, is a silver salt solution which actually goes onto the fabric and it prevents the odour and the bacteria growth on the shirt. The good thing about that is that you don't need to wash the shirt as often, so you can wear more, wash less, which is good for the environment. Golf's a sport, and sportswear is really quite important. We like to make an impact. So these guys here, the bold stripe as we call them, are very much signature bunker products nowadays. With the bold chest stripe, we're putting our badge on here to identify this is really a kind of on-course shirt, really. But, you know, it's a nice sports shirt, so you could wear it wherever you want. Again, no branding on the back or on the sleeves, so nothing definitely on the collar. That's allowing you to wear that in more situations than just the golf course, but it is fully functional. The big hitter this season so far, we only launched last week, but this is called the Switch Polo. I don't know why we called it the Switch, but anyway. So it's quite impactful, strong colours. We put this little colour stripe rainbow thing on the side here, and then we've also put it on the back. It's a really bold, sports looking garment, and this is our best seller so far. This is our core opening price point. We don't have the brand strength to do anything other than be design orientated. So at this point, we put a lot of time and effort into creating colour combinations on the collars and the sleeves of the garment, you know, rather than just putting our logo on the chest and hoping that it's going to sell it. We put a lot of time and effort into creating good colour combos at this opening price that really help, you know, guys get a bit something different. It looks different, it plays different, and with as many colour options as you want, really. There's just such a lot of choice. Other products, shorts. So I've already said Paisley's quite important to us. So we've now got a Paisley short. It comes in a couple of 3 colours. You've got the hot pink, as I've already said, is very popular with our customer. You know, it's you have to imagine it's a nice hot sunny day. But these are really popular. Again, you've got a great short here that's fully functional. It's a golf short, but you can wear it anywhere. So we always have that in our mind, that could I wear those with a t-shirt and flip-flops, going out Sunday afternoon? And that's the idea. So t-shirts are really where we started. This kind of thing here, Birdie King's been super popular. We've got this in sweatshirts and we've got it in hoodies as well. This is part of our Live As You Play range. Golf wear is very functional and it's about performance of the clothing. This is more about personality. So this is more about allowing the guy to bring his personality through, because it's a t-shirt. But he loves golf, and the t-shirt says I love golf, basically. Hit it hard, go find it, hit it hard again. And these have been really popular, and we continue to develop new ones, and this season Birdie King's been a big hit.
What does it mean to you to sell to the golf market?
Well, obviously, that's, when it sells well, it just validates everything you do. You've worked hard on it through the winter, developing right, nice new product, bright colours, new designs, and when it sells well, you get a lot of gratification out of that, because that's what you're doing. You're trying to create products that are enjoyable by the customer, and so far we've been quite successful at that.
You obviously sell like a lot of product, like online, X, Y, Z. Is it exciting to see someone wearing your stuff just on the course, like it's randomly as well?
Well, on the course or anywhere. Yeah, I mean, it is bizarre. But we've been doing that for a long time now, but we still get the kick of someone who's wearing it, and it's quite strange not to. You sometimes want to run up and go, that's our shirt, So yes, it's a real good thing when you see people wearing it, and we get a lot of that on. People buy shirts now, and they're out on the golf course and they're sending you a selfie Saturday morning. Here's me teeing off at 7:30 with your such and such a polo shirt on, or the cap or whatever. That's terrific. We really do appreciate that, because it's just validation of what we're doing, really. But yeah, if you bump into someone, and the kids still go, "Hey Dad, we seen such and such a guy wearing a polo, bunker polo." That's really nice. We always like that.